What up, y'all? Welcome to the Texas Sports Unfiltered post-game show. I am Zay Collier, joined by my main man, Double R Rodney Rodriguez. TSU post-game show brought to you by Covert Bee Cave and Audiovisual Consultations. The Texas Longhorns get a much-needed win versus the Arkansas Razorbacks, 52-37. Texas is 7-3 overall, 4-2 in the SEC, and hey, they put up the most points they have all year against an SEC team with 52, but they gave up 37. We're gonna break it all down next week too. We know what next week is. Play spoiler.
There it is.
Spoiler. That sounds fun. I know Texas fans are trying to figure out and do all the math to see how can this squad get into the college football playoff. Steve Sarkisian said it best. We just got to handle our business and worry about A&M and control what we can control. So, yeah, tonight, solid win. Arch Manning continues to look good, continues to get better and better. His best game of the year, 6 touchdowns total, 4 through the air, 1 on the ground, and a little Nick Foles Philly special that Steve Sarkisian threw in today. I said yesterday, Double R's, we haven't seen the creativity from Steve Sarkisian this year, and some of that's on him, and some of that's due to the personnel that's given, which we know this offensive line, which looked good today. Now, you'll hear a lot, from me on 2-8 Arkansas, 2-8 Arkansas.
Right, yeah.
But they don't have a win in the SEC for a reason, so let's not get over our skis and complimenting too many folks, but you got to give credit where it's due. Offensive line played better. The throw game was money. Running game, it was decent. I mean, if you look at what this team has put out there all year long, you got 97.
Almost 100.
The penalties were still an issue. 7 penalties for 72 yards. Arkansas gave you 9 penalties for 65 yards. But what continues to be concerning, Double R, is this defense, man. This defense. I get it. Arkansas, Bobby Petrino, he's a wizard when it comes to play calling, and this is still the SEC. They got talent over there at Fayetteville, but 512 yards, man, that's bogus. I don't care who you're playing. 512 yards is ridiculous for a backup quarterback to come in and drop 206, man. And now the problems just got worse because we don't know where Anthony Hill's going to be next week. Anthony Hill did not play today. So next week, will he be available? To be determined. But until then, you got to worry about the bogus-ass targeting call that was put on Ty Smith, man. I don't know about that. Like, how soft are we? Because it wasn't any real head-to-head. Like, he was still, up. His head didn't drop. You know what I'm saying? It was just hard contact. I don't think there was really a helmet-to-helmet collision at all. I just think it was a hard hit. Like, going back to the old school Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher days where linebackers were allowed to do those type of things. So if I'm Steve Sarkisian, I'm fighting the hell out of that all week long because you want Ty Anthony Smith available against A&M. Now, I thought Trey Moore was solid today. Leon Lafau solid today at times, but also we just saw Arkansas put up 188 yards rushing, and then they threw for 324 yards. Comes out to that 512 that I just mentioned. So Marcel Reed, Colin Klein, Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver, Le'Veon Moss, Ruben Owens, they're looking at that and they're licking their chops like, yo, if Arkansas could go into DKR and do that, then who knows what we could do if we go in the DKR. So that's what worries me a little bit. But, hey, man, if you put up 52 points again, it might not matter.
Yeah. You just gotta score more points. I mean, it sounds stupid at this point, but that's what you have to do. But it really is where this game really felt like, and the script really has flipped to where like the offense is like just kind of hitting its stride right now. and you see what the defense is doing, and you go back and there are so many different things there. It's like, man, what happened here? We were waiting for the offense to wake itself up. We say wake itself up, but it really was a matter of just the pieces coming all together. And I think that's finally happened. Look, Arch Manning has just been brilliant. I mean, he was great last week in the loss. But today, to watch him, the poise, I mean, that dude is so good. I mean, checking all his different reads and mobility in the pocket, all of that is just so good. But it's where you go in there, and I felt really good about the game, because this is what you expect from this Texas team when you're playing an inferior team, in the fact that, if the game is going to stay close, if it's going to be a little closer in the first half, it is what it is. But then you come out in the second half and you just really kind of put your foot on their throat and finish the thing off. And that's what it looks like. But everything that you're pointing out here, when it comes down to you got outgained in total yards, and with this dude comes in, the backup quarterback Jackson comes in here, and the dude looks, I mean, he looked really comfortable. He got really comfortable in there, and he chewed up a lot of yards and found the defense susceptible again. So it's like you want to find the positives in all of that stuff, but when you go and you dig into that stuff, and then the next opponent that you have, it's like, man, that is absolutely not going to work against those guys. But look, we've got all week to break that part down. I think that the main thing is, what I like is a resolve in this football team, because all the distractions, everything that you had, in the fact that you got boat race last week by Georgia yet again, and then you come out with all the, is the coach going to be around? Is the coach looking for other stuff? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. And the fact is that they came out and they looked ready to play. That's what I like. They looked ready to play, which they didn't against Georgia. So that's a step in the right direction. But now this is in the rearview mirror. Forget all this, because, man, the big one is looming next Friday.
Yeah, and it's a short week. I mean, you
Very
don't play
short week.
next Saturday, you play on Friday. So you gotta really fast forward through some of the process that you have in a normal coaching week with practices and stuff and everything that you have scheduled. And you gotta go full throttle, because this A&M team, they had their cupcake against Samford today, which they completely skunked 48-0. So they're going to be ready. And they remember last year what happened when that game was to get to Atlanta for the SEC championship. You went to Kyle Field and you embarrassed them to move on to the SEC championship game. So, yeah, A&M coming in undefeated. They want all that payback and then some. And, just the first 3 drives of the game, Rodney, for this offense really set the tone for Texas, because, when you score on the first 3 drives, you're feeling great about yourself. I get it. It's Arkansas. To my man down here saying Arkansas is the worst team in college football. They ain't that bad, but in the SEC, they're definitely the worst. But, hey, you see some of them brothers that they got talent. Like, they got, SEC caliber players. It's just a lot has to come in together for you to be a solid football club in this conference. But those first 3 drives, Double R, the first one, 4 plays, 81 yards, man. You hit Wingo on the screen and gets about 9 yards, and you hit Mosley down the field. Travion Weisner once for a first down, and then Arch finds DeAndre Moore on that deep shot, because this is why Steve Sarkisian is valuable. Those screens, teams are taught to stop that. Probably one of the first things you do when you start preparing for Texas. You go over all the screen stuff.
It's coming.
Obviously, they got the motions and the movement and whatnot. We know Steve Sarkisian, he does that to the T. But you better stop the screen game. Your corners better be ready to tackle on the flats and whatnot. And now we haven't seen many deep shots down the field, just because I don't know whether it was Arch and, the rest of the receivers not being on the same page, Steve Sarkisian not realizing that this offensive line is so freaking leaky. You don't have time to take those deep shots down the field. They gave you time today, and you were able to hit them. Parker Livingston, Emmett Mosley, Jack injuries,
finally. Yes.
He had his best game of the year, getting him involved more. Like, that's been tough. The tight end room has really struggled this year, and it's been a huge question mark in my opinion. Like, yeah, you could say they needed the tight ends more to protect the offensive line and max protect, but also, come on. Like, this is a Steve Sarkisian offense. The tight end, they have to be involved if you want the offense to really find themselves and make the most of their abilities. And the fact that the tight end hasn't really got busy like we've seen in years past from Gunnar Helm and JT Sanders, that's a reason why this offense has struggled. I mean, obviously the run game and Arch Manning at times, but it was real promising to see Jack Injuries get involved a little bit more, because that just makes you that easier, that harder to guard, because you got to worry about so many different parts of this offense. So you score the first 3 drives of the first half, kind of stall out a little bit. The fans were booing at, by the end of the halftime because they wanted Sark to be more aggressive. I get that. Mason Shipley, he knocks that field goal in. You get the ball back and you score the next 3 drives of the second half to really blow it open. So that right there, man, to just keep the foot on the gas. You had to have a victory that looked good. And even though the defense didn't, at least the offense did, to where somehow, some way you beat A&M and other things happen in the nation from these other teams that, might give you one. And who knows? Who knows what the committee might think? So they took care of business. Got to give them that. Now it's time to lock in for them Aggies to come into town.
Yeah, and it was so big for me. I think going into this game, I mean, I assumed Texas was going to win. If we were going to be sitting here at 6:30 doing a post game show after a loss to Arkansas, we've got a lot of other problems besides just the stuff that we're pointing out right here. But what I was curious to see was the bounce back of the team. I mean, of the organization. I mean, do you come out? Do you look asleep? Are you half stepping? What are you doing? I mean, because you got humiliated on the national stage last week. And again, there's no shame in losing to Georgia. But it's been pretty well documented, and we figured out that that's the Achilles heel for Texas. Just like Georgia's Achilles heel is, it's a whole circular effect right there. But Texas is Georgia. But when they came out and they looked really good, they looked prime, the script, whatever you want to call it, and I really do hope. I love the little swing out to Wingo being the first play all the time, but against A&M, don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, because it's too obvious. It's too obvious, Zay. It's like
going. You gotta keep it.
Might as well, right? Shit. Yeah. It's working. It's working.
This is when you do the wheel route out of it, where you
right
and get the wheel route like you did today with DeAndre Moore and Parker Livingston and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see.
But the fact that there were a lot of people involved with this, and I really do have to go back to Arch, man. The guy, the progress that you watch in this guy, this is what you've been waiting for right here. This is the excitement, and this is all of the we always say intangibles on chaos theory, and we just kind of ring the bell because it's like, okay, that's a word. What does that really mean? I mean, all the intangibles that you have with Arch Manning, you're really starting to see. And the way he's able to spread the ball around. And this is just where you think if you can get that right, you're going to have to run the ball against A&M. I mean, I'm sorry, whether you want to or not, you're going to have to run the ball against that front. And I think that at the end of the game, again, even though it was, in more garbage time, if you want to call it that, you were able to run the ball well. You almost got to 100 yards. So that's the progress that you look for. And I mean, even some of the young guys in the secondary, we've talked about how that's gotten kind of leaky at times with some of that. Some of these young dudes were making plays. So that's what you hope can kind of continue to bring itself together when the rival comes into town. But we're getting all it's Arkansas and the Coda text line. It's Arkansas. Look, man, with the inconsistency of this team all season long, I mean, to see it's not the best put together 60 minutes of football that we've seen all year, Zay, but I'll take this for what we've been dealt this year. I'll take this. I'll take this any day.
Yeah, offensively, I'll say yes. I'll definitely take this. Defensively, I'm worried. Like I'm worried just because I don't know what happened to this defense. Like, you would think that with Michael Taft being back, this defense would have figured some things out. And in the games that Michael Taft has been back, he hasn't been great. Like, I ain't seen Michael Taft get run over like that since his days at Westlake, man.
Dude, he got drilled.
Man. Oh my goodness.
Man.
Like that was one of those, it was like a scary movie. I jumped in my seat. I said, oh shit.
Yeah. I saw that happen, Zay, and I'm like, damn, who got drilled? And then I saw 16. I'm like, was Arch in there? What the fuck?
And then he got juked by Taylor Green earlier, and it's just like, man. And again, Mookie Taft, he missed a few assignments last week against Georgia too, so he has to be better. You know, he came along in that second half, but he has to be better in the first half for these guys. They rely on him a ton.
They do.
Especially if Ant Hill being out, which it showed today. It showed on the first play of the game where they gave it to Washington and he broke off for a 40-piece. You know, so Trey Moore, I think knowing that he's going to have to play more snaps at that linebacker position, especially if this Ty Anthony Smith thing stays, like you get called for a targeting shot, you're out the first half of your next game. So again, Sark, fight the hell out of it because I think it was a bogus call, but if he's not available, maybe put Brad Spence back there a little bit more. You know, you got Leonga Lafau, who was decent today. Obviously, he got his touchdown, and I don't know why he threw the ball at Bevo. Bevo jumped. Bevo was like, hey, what the hell? What the hell is going on, man? I'm just chilling.
It's like, dude, I'm on your side, man. Yeah.
It's
like, I'm on your team.
Yeah, he might have PETA hitting him up or something. That was crazy. I ain't never seen nobody throw the ball at Bevo like that, but it was cool. He was excited, and obviously Pete Kwiatkowski and the rest of those defensive coaches and everybody was going nuts, but don't let that take away from the fact that they gave up 512 yards to the worst team in the league. And you know, Jalen Gilbo, I'm very curious to see when the snap counts come out after this game, when all that stuff comes out, where Jalen Gilbo is compared to Cade Phillips, because Jalen Gilbo's snaps, they're starting to decline more and more each week. And he has been a disappointment in a way. Like he hasn't been just straight up awful, but he hasn't been good.
That was going to be one of your benchmarks back there. Or at least I thought it would. I thought it would. Yeah.
Me too. I was vouching for him. I was excited about it because I trusted that, hey, if they're confident enough to move him from that star nickel spot to an outside corner, that means he's good. That means, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, Jalen Gilbo's going to take that next step, especially being a senior and just what you expect from these guys each year when it comes to getting better and their development. And that hasn't been it. And Jalen Gilbo, now they got him doing a lot more special team stuff. He made a tackle on the kickoff, and Jeff Banks was trying to hype him up like, yo, dude, you need to stay engaged because clearly you're getting demoted. We got you doing kickoff here. You're a senior. Cade Phillips is getting snaps and playing some solid ball.
He's looked really good. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not going to take out Manny Muhammad. So, yeah, like things like that happen when in Vanderbilt on that Eli Stowers broken coverage play where he was absolutely open. Who was involved in that play? Jalen Gilbo. Last week against Georgia, that play with Mookie Taft and Gilbo, where one of those wide receivers, I don't know if it was Humphreys or the Oklahoma transfer, but either way, on one of those plays, Jalen Gilbo was involved in the busted coverage that led to a Georgia touchdown. You only get so many chances. I get it. What you did in the past is the past, bro. But you decided that you wanted to play an outside corner because you wanted to show the scouts that you were the real deal. And the coaches, in a way to their fault, they agreed on it because they said, you know what? We got this young stud in Grayson Littleton that we believe in, who is solid and has a lot of upside moving forward. So Gilbo, we'll put you on the outside and we'll see how it goes. And it just, again, it hasn't been horrible, but it hasn't been great. You know what I'm saying? It's just been, you remember the moments where he got beat. That's not good. I remember
those wrong time.
I remember those moments way more than I remember him thriving. So it'll be interesting to see because Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver, they are the best two receiver duos after Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, who are hurt right now. Yeah. After that, after those two guys at Ohio State, it's those boys down there at College Station.
Mm-hmm.
So the secondary, who's been trashed the last month, they got to be locked in because when you got the backup KJ Jackson coming in and throwing 206 and he barely even played, he looked so comfortable. You mentioned it, Double R.
He got more comfortable as the game went on.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
How? I don't understand that. So you got a guy coming into town that I think is getting overlooked when it comes to Heisman votes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though you liked a lot about the win today, man, 36 points, 37 points against Arkansas, 500 something yards given up. That's just, if you bring in that defensive performance, it's going to be an embarrassing one next Friday night.
And I think that's the biggest thing that second half there, even though it was, a very solid second half for Texas, but then Arkansas started scoring with the second string quarterback. That's the worst part of it. If you'd have still had the first dude in there, it's like, okay, well, that's just kind of the ebb and flow of the game. But no, when this dude comes in and you see him getting more comfortable, that's where, with the next opponent and with everything that's on the line. And look, I'll be very candid. It's like, just win the game, let the other pieces fall into place. But the whole thing is, that's where that Pandora's box is opened up again, Zeta, where it's like, okay, so you're saying there's hope, because there is hope. I mean, there really is hope on a bigger goal. But with the secondary, I mean, that's the thing with the deficiencies that we've seen in it. I mean, when we talk about the young dudes, when we talk about Phillips, and I mean, obviously Grayson Littleton has just been, I mean, you want to talk about thrown into the fire. I mean, that dude gets thrown in the Ohio State game, has got to, defend one of the best receivers in the country. And so you see all of that starting to come together, but you're exactly right, where this year I thought it was going to be such a big important bounce back year for Malik Muhammad, because that was kind of the thing last year, where what I remember about him, he was getting burned. Yeah. And this year it hasn't been, that, where he has kind of answered the call, where you look at Gilbo and it's like, man, I know it's a change in position, but it was his call to make that. And it's like, dude, it's the opportunities are diminishing, because I noticed that. I start looking at snaps and it's like, dude, you're getting replaced. You are getting replaced.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, we know you're not going to be here next year.
Yeah.
Let's get the guys that are some burn. Like, especially if there isn't much separation from, production. Like, let's get the young dude some burn, because that's the only way you're going to get experience if you're thrown into that fire. So, I just, again, the front seven, or the defensive line, you could rely on. The defensive line is solid.
Mm-hmm.
But, the linebackers with no Ant Hill, the secondary now, that just doesn't make me feel too confident going, with A&M coming into town. Because, again, Concepcion and Craver, and they got tight ends over there. Amari Niblack left Texas to go to College Station thinking he was going to be the man. The dude can't touch the field.
Yep.
Because Mike Elko has better tight ends playing over him. And I still think Amari Niblack has talent, but there's obviously something there. Steve Sarkisian saw it last year. Mike Elko seeing it this year, where it's just not clicking for whatever those coaches are asking for Amari Niblack. It is clearly not clicking because he's too talented to not get any run whatsoever. So, you better respect the Aggies. And I know their schedule, it ain't nothing to write home about. Like, they really haven't played nobody, if you're really looking at it. But
They're buttoned up, Zay. I mean, they believe. I mean, Mike Elko, where we see all the distractions and everything that we've seen here, and we see inconsistencies and all that, they really don't have that over there. I mean, was Mike Elko really the right guy? I mean, it seems like it now. I mean, we could be here next year at this time, and they've lost 6 games. I mean, you just don't know. It changes that fast. But it seems like right now that they went the right direction. And back to the defense thing there with Trey Moore. I thought that this could be a break, which solid game for him. Solid game for him as well. But him, and I think I saw on one of the chat boards or something where it's like, maybe there needs to be a more standard type of linebacker in there at this point, because he's more of an edge guy, that's trying to be a standard linebacker. I mean, who's the other standard linebacker you have right now? I mean, there really isn't. So I think for him, depending on what happens with Anthony Hill and the Ty Anthony Smith situation there, with whatever Zay, that thing is so big. That thing is so big right now, depending on what comes out of that. But Trey Moore getting those reps, I think that definitely helps you. And we don't know the status of Ty Anthony Hill or of Anthony Hill at this point. So that's going to be the biggest thing going into the week. I mean, what really is the situation right there?
Yeah, they're going to need them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to a scoreboard update. He is Double R. I am Zay Collier. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us here at the Texas Sports Unfiltered post-game show, brought to you by Covert Bee Cave and Audiovisual Consultations. Remember, guys, like and subscribe. Help us help y'all. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Instagram. We are everywhere. Get the app if you haven't done it. Hit us up on the Coda text line, 512-222-9328. Hit us up in the comment section. I see all of y'all's comments and stuff. Defense, play, trash, football, talking about Mookie Taft getting shrugged. Like, when we see y'all, man, we appreciate y'all.
He's getting killed on the Coda text line, too.
Brutal. That bit, man, Mookie Taft, shit. He going to have nightmares about that for the rest of his life. Boy. That was rough.
Man.
Right. Let's get to some of these other scores around the nation. Scoreboard update brought to you by Gobundance. Texas football, it's all about legends, man. It's built on legends. You saw Michael Huff today get rewarded and nominated because he's in the College Football Hall of Fame. Shout out to Huff. Congrats to him. But there's plenty more legends like Mac Brown and Vince Young, Colt McCoy, all guys that have led the way. But the Longhorn way, it's more than talent. It's about discipline. It's about brotherhood. It's about rising to the occasion. And no one rises to the occasion more than Gobundance. A community of high-achieving men, business professionals, investors, and leaders that push each other to win, not only in business, but in life. So if you're ready to live like a champion, hey, Gobundance is your team. Join the tribe now at www.gobundance.com/TSU. It's Gobundance. The Gobundance scoreboard update today. Vanderbilt took care of Kentucky 45-17. I saw Diego Pavia arguing with Clark Lee on the sideline because they were up by 40 and he still wanted to play in the fourth quarter. He's still trying to get that Heisman love. I think Diego Pavia, I can't knock that at all, dog. Miami beats Virginia Tech. James Franklin just got the gig. This is why he got the gig. 34-17. Alabama, who was very pissed off after their loss to the Sooners last week, beat up on the random scrub team that every SEC team plays besides Texas. Eastern Illinois, 56-0. Notre Dame beat the crap out of Syracuse. Notre Dame, I might have been wrong about Notre Dame. I can't stand them. I'm just a Notre Dame hater, but they're looking good right now. Jeremiah Love.
God.
Like that defense, man, is stingy. Look out for the Fighting Irish.
And they'll get in. They'll get in.
They're
in now.
Oklahoma, tough game today, but they got the dub 17-6 against Missouri. Oklahoma controls their own destiny on getting in the college football playoff. A huge game that had CFP implications. Oregon beat USC 42-27. Georgia beat Charlotte 35-3, and A&M beat Samford 48-0. Double R, anything about the college football Saturday that caught your eye?
You know, the USC, and again, this is where, you know, when you have Texas sitting at 17, the USC loss right there. I mean, that's something where you talk about you need things to fall into place. So that's going to be somebody that's going to drop a little bit there. So, you know, that right there, it was kind of a very lackluster, dare I say, Saturday. It seemed like in college football. And again, when you have the SEC that's taken on, you know, what they're doing this week, other than Texas, that's what you're going to get. The one you didn't mention there is I saw it right before we came on the air. Houston falls to TCU 17-14. It's like, Cougs, come on, Willie Fritz, dude, come on, man, it's right there.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Yeah, U of H 17-14 and get Sonny Dykes and them Horned Frogs. Yeah. U of H has had a solid season this year, but
yeah,
that was a tough one. And yeah, Rob, you're right, buddy. That Florida loss for Texas, that's the killer, man. That's
it is
killer. I mean,
it is. You know,
go back to that game. You just think about everything that was going on. You had Nick Brooks playing your left guard. That right there was the ball game, in my opinion. He was that bad.
Yeah.
He was that bad. And again, that's on the coaches. It shouldn't have taken them this long to figure out the Cole Hudson, Connor Robinson switcheroo. Like, that's just Kyle Flood, Steve Sarkisian. What the hell are you doing? Like, why did it take that long to figure it out?
Yeah.
You know, and then even past that, before the battle was between Neto, Yumi Uzulu, and Connor Stroh. That's all we heard in the offseason. We didn't even hear about Nick Brooks getting left guard run.
Yeah.
We heard Neto and Connor Stroh. Those guys were battling it out to be starting left guard. Mm-hmm. So the three guys, there's three players that they had out there that didn't cut it. And even, you know, Connor Robinson, Cole Hudson, they're better than those guys, but they're not great. Let's not say that these guys are, you know, household names, future Hall of Famers. No, they're doing their job. They had, you know, good days today. They are better than Stroh, Neto, and Nick Brooks. But the fact that it took this coaching staff this long to figure it out.
Yeah.
They went into Florida just with that mindset that they went in, like, it's just we're going to be talking about it all off season. You know what I'm saying? That's what went wrong, because everybody, I'm not with everybody blaming, don't play the Ohio State game. No, play that game.
I agree.
Always play that game. We need more blue bloods to play games like that, because you're supposed to take care of your business once you get into conference play. You shouldn't be having these close games in Mississippi State. You shouldn't be having these close games against Kentucky. Yeah, you won them, but yeah, with your talent against theirs, come on. Like, it shouldn't be close. So when you lose games like Florida, like, no, man, I'm not going to look at that Ohio State game and say we need to not play that. Don't lose to Florida. That's bogus. They fired their freaking coach. That's just straight bogus, man. Like, that's what it is. It took this coaching staff way too long to figure it out, and that's what's going to cost them not getting in the college football playoff and having 3 losses, possibly 4 to end the season. So I you know, hey, it is what it is, man.
Yeah. Beginning of the year, I think, I mean, obviously everybody wanted, you know, undefeated national championships or whatever. But at the beginning of the year, if you would have laid this whole thing out and said, well, when it's all said and done, you're going to be a 2-loss team. You're going to lose to Ohio State and you're going to lose to Georgia. I think a lot of us would have been like, okay, that makes sense. I mean, that totally makes sense just on past history, because you can't get past either one of those teams, it seems like. But the Georgia one, or the Florida one, really is the one, and it's only magnified in the manner that it happened. I mean, they dominated you, and Florida's actually leading Tennessee now. So if Florida can win, no, Tennessee is leading Florida. If Florida could beat Tennessee tonight, I mean that any little nudge that you can get right now to try to get past that, but that's your undoing right there. That is totally your undoing. Losing that game in the manner that you lost it, it's that was the black eye, and it will follow. And beating A&M, that may not necessarily get you past that, because it's just. That's the way this system works. It's human driven to where they're going to go back and they'll argue back and forth. Zay, they're going to be like, well, Texas this, and somebody's going to say, well, yeah, but then that Florida game.
Yeah.
And boom, there you go.
And
there you go.
A&M obviously would be a big deal. They're third in the nation. They're undefeated. But, man, their schedule, who's their best win, Rodney? Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So after that, SEC-wise, you're in the SEC. Where's your best win? Missouri today. That's their best win. Or Missouri a few weeks ago. That's their best win.
Yeah.
That's it. Yep. Like, they played Florida, Mississippi State, Auburn, Arkansas, LSU, who also fired their coach, like South Carolina. So they haven't really played anybody since that Notre Dame game. And they were down by 28 by 28 the other day against South Carolina.
And found a way to win, though.
Found a way to win. Yes. So this A&M team, they still got something to prove to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, they gotta show me that they could play with the big boys and stuff, and they handle their business. All you can do is beat the people that are in front of you. People were saying the same thing about Texas last year, and I understood it. When Texas went to the SEC championship, like, who did Texas beat last year before they played Clemson and Arizona State? So, it just comes with the territory.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. And I'm glad this game is all Black Friday. This game should always be Black Friday.
I agree. And the thing with A&M is the way that the South Carolina game is being looked at now, it's not in the whole structure of everything. I hear a lot of people talking about that. Not so much that South Carolina had A&M on the ropes when A&M should have walked away with this. It's the matter that A&M came back from 30-3 and found a way to win. And it's like the whole quality of the opponent is being discounted in a lot of different narratives about it, which I totally get that. I would hope it would be the same way if Texas would have come back and beat Florida, because Florida was dominating Texas. But of course that didn't happen. But yeah, Florida's your undoing. I mean, you can go back and figure out all these different things, and that does go back to the coaching staff. You were not prepared for that game. You had the wrong people in the wrong places, and it took you too damn long to figure this shit out. Yeah. Bottom line. That's all there is to it.
Bottom line. All right, Double R, let's get to the offensive player of the game. This might be too easy. Brought to you by Clean Calls, and we like it that way. Sometimes we know this year it's been very difficult to find an offensive player of the game. Clean Calls, our friends that are on the mission to energize lives with a purpose. They craft refreshing, better for you, sparkling herba mate beverages that deliver a clean caffeine boost without the crash, because the crash, that's the worst part. You think that you're good, or I'm just going to drink one of these crazy energy drinks, the same one that Camp Scalaboo be putting in his shoe and stuff like that. Don't do that. Get with the good guys, the guys that, going to give you that boost without the crash, and that is Clean Calls. And plus, beyond the energy, the brand is built on impact. 50% of the profits go to fun, addiction, recovery, housing, scholarships. So every sip gives a greater purpose, and they've donated over $3.8 million, and they just continue to grow. And they got great flavors too, like the new strawberry lemonade, sparkling herba mate, 0 sugar, 0 calories, absolutely on point. You can find any Clean Calls beverage around town at your local grocery store or convenience stores, or online at cleancalls.com. Double R, your offensive player of the game, brought to you by Clean Calls.
Man, I tell you, DeAndre Moore and Parker Livingston had amazing games, but who was throwing that ball to him? I
Right.
mean, it's hard to not go at 16 on the offense, man. And to watch what this dude, he just looks more comfortable, man. He looks comfortable in his skin. Watching the things he's doing, he's a leader out there. I mean, he demands respect from his team. And I mean, he literally did everything, Zay. I mean, throwing the ball, running the ball, catching the ball. I mean, to watch how he has taken this offense and made it his own against, a lot of times under the pressure that he's been under. Today was a lot easier for him. He didn't get hit the way that he's been getting hit, so it made it even easier. And this is where I go back to where it's so cool to watch what he's done to this point. And then with the game today, I just wish they'd have found a way to give him 11 yards, 11 more passing yards, one more pass of 11 yards and get him over 400 to where it's like to watch what he's doing to where when those things around him start to work better, maybe it wasn't all Arch, right? Maybe it all wasn't his problem. Maybe he wasn't quite the bust that people thought he was. Because now that conversation has changed now, right? It's like, oh, man, this guy, he's back to being a Manning now. He had kind of been disowned for a while. Not anymore. What a game from this dude. This was so fun to watch today.
Yeah, his pocket presence, man, has gotten so much better. His mechanics, just thinking back to that Ohio State game where his feet were so far wide and he was throwing it sidearm and just uneasy. Like a guy that was just uneasy in his head. He has all the pressure on him. So many people wanting him to fail. And he looks so different than that guy that we saw week one. And, the whole team feeds off of it. Like he keeps you in the game. Like if that fourth quarter didn't happen against Georgia, remember, you're only down 4 points heading into that fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Like if the defense could stop some damn body and you could get an onside kick, who knows what would have happened?
Yep.
Because Arch Manning was doing his thing. And it's not his fault guys were dropping passes. So, like, he's just night and day, absolute night and day. And
confident. He's confident.
And he's strong in the pocket. He's hard to bring down. There were multiple times where there were white jerseys around him, holding on to him on his legs and stuff. And he's able to shake that off while keeping his eyes up the field. Think about how many young players, once it gets congested in that pocket, they just take off. Like they just, especially when they have a little bit of athleticism in their game, they'll take off. He's not doing that, like that. He's going through those progressions. He's throwing the check downs. One play that will go unnoticed for obvious reasons, but not to me, was there was a play, there was nothing there. And appreciate you, as always, my guy. Appreciate you, man. That's love. But he got out of the pocket. There was nothing up the field. And he just threw it on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
He just threw it on the ground. Live to play another day.
Yep.
That's it. Live to, don't force nothing. No negative plays.
Don't give it to them.
Don't give it to them. None of that. Just, damn, we ain't got nothing. Let me dirt this thing, and let's see what we got on next down. Get your punter out there. Sometimes your punter is your best friend just because you flip the field. It's not working. All right, let's go back to the sideline. Let's chop it up with Mike Bamonte. Let's call up AJ Milwee in the booth.
Yep.
And let's see how we get better. Like sometimes that's just the best solution. And he's understanding that now, where it seemed like at the beginning, you were trying to get it all on one play. You know what I'm saying? You were trying to find the explosive plays and find the deep shots down the field. And a lot of that's on Sark. Sark has reeled it back a lot, and they're getting the ball out of his hands quick because they know the longer he holds it, the more he's susceptible to get sacked because this offensive line has been leaky in the past. So the complementary football from everybody, getting the ball out of your hands, the offensive line holding up, the run game at least being a little more relevant than we've seen in the past. And I didn't see many drops today. Like if you want to count the drops, I think it was Arkansas players making plays on the ball. That just they made good plays on the ball. Parker Livingston, it's in his hands. The cornerback goes and puts his hands through there. That's a good play, So, I can really appreciate where Arch Manning is at this point of the season, and you feel good about him against that really tough Oklahoma defense that throws you so many different looks. Cassius House playing like the man. Torian York is one of the better linebackers in the league. So, yeah, feeling good about that. Shout out to Arch Manning, me and Double R's. Offensive player of the game brought to you by Clean Calls. Now, the defensive player of the game brought to you by Kenfield Golf Cars. If you're in the market for a new or pre-owned golf cart, good news. We got you at Kenfield Golf Cars, founded in 1979. They have an unparalleled selection of different golf carts available, new or used. So if you have a used one that you want to take up to get iced out with all the gadgets and the tricks, and man, to make it look brand spanking new, Kenfield's got you. But if you want to start from scratch and build your golf cart from the ground up, Kenfield can do that too. They are the best in the business. No job is too big. No job is too small for Kenfield. Give them a call at 512-258-8515 or go to their website at KenfieldGolfCars.com and tell them Texas Sports Unfiltered sent you. Double R, the Kenfield Golf Cars defensive player of the game.
Kind of another one of those games to where it's like there were so many that were making plays, actually on both sides today. I mean, Arch was kind of pretty obvious right there, but you had a surplus of people that you could go with. On defense, I'm actually going with Jelani McDonald. Solid game from that dude. He had the obviously he had the interception. Where we're talk about the opposite right there. I mean, where Talon Smith just kind of here.
Yeah, Talon Green. Yeah.
Talon Green. I'm sorry. Where Talon Green does that, it's like, okay, that's the stuff that was happening earlier in the year to Arch, and McDonald's waiting. He's like, see you.
Yo, yeah. I can't even lie, man. They need to check Talon Green for this Chauncey Billups, all these, gambling schemes going on.
Yeah.
That
was pretty
weird.
Obvious, right?
That was weird. And he was not coming back in that game either.
Yeah.
Like after that, he was like, I'm done. It's sad that I got to speculate those things nowadays because guys are doing that. But that play was so bogus, Double R, he just threw it to Jelani McDonald.
Ty Anthony Smith hit him, but I mean the pressure was there, but it wasn't. I mean that just looked like here.
That was such a bad play.
Here. Yeah. That did look a little
sketchy.
Yeah.
And then never
came back.
That's what's even sketchier. Like, all right, bro, whatever. But
anyway, I'm going with Jelani McDonald. I mean, he had the one big TFL. Again, a drive that looked like it may be something that Arkansas could work with. He had that right there. I think he had, let me look right there, 5 total tackles. So again, one of those dudes in the secondary where it's been a little bit of whatever back there, but it's one of the dudes on the backside that's making plays. And I'm going with 4 because he got the INT.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm going to go with Colin Simmons just because that was such a huge play, and I want to give him love for how he's played the last few weeks. Like, he's in double-digit sacks now. Like, the dude has just been a monster. And obviously him having a slow start, had a lot of penalties early on. He had a huge penalty against Georgia last week on that 4th and 5, which I'm sure he's still kicking himself in the butt for that. But he's still a young player. And how you get over those bad moments is to go make good moments. And he did that today by getting a strip sack fumble that led to the Leonga touchdown where he threw that thing to Bevo. I'm sure PETA's already hitting them up right now. But yeah, Colin Simmons, man, they're going to need him. They're going to need him, especially if Anthony Hill isn't available. Colin Simmons is that type of player where he could change the game on one play, just like we saw. So player like Marcel Reed, he will turn it over every now and then. So Colin Simmons got to be on top of his game. He was good today. Jelani McDonald was good. I thought Ethan Burke was solid today too. He could have been up for this award also. Kay Phillips, we mentioned him earlier, but yeah, Colin Simmons, got to give it to him for the defensive game.
And who was the leading tackler? Mookie Taft.
Mookie Taft.
But
Yeah.
not today, though. Sorry, Michael Taft. Not
Yeah,
today.
can't.
Can't do it
He
today.
can't get trucked and juked.
Yeah. Cannot happen today. Cannot happen today.
Man. All right. Let's get to the offensive play of the game, brought to you by Paul's Motor Works. Paul's Motor Works. They've been providing a complete foreign domestic automotive repair since 2000, and they're just the best. They specialize in BMW, Porsches, Mercedes-Benz, Mini Coupes, Volkswagen, but you don't have to have those cars to go into Paul's. They will take any vehicle, any make, or any model. Oil changes, tire rotations, doesn't matter. Any type of major repair, they will take care of you. Trust your guys at Paul's Motor Works. Trust those guys, man, because there's a lot of sleazy folks out here working on cars that will try to pull a fast one. Paul and his team, they are not those guys. They are great mechanics, and they're just great people, and that's who I want working on my car. So go visit Paul and the team off of 2222 and 620 and find more info at pmwaustin.com. The offensive play of the game. I feel like this is unanimous too, Double R. I feel like this one is too easy, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. So, and this is where we can talk about progress, because remember, we've had post-game shows to where it's like, there really wasn't one. There weren't any. So we're getting better. We're getting better because here's the play that I really liked, and it sums up everything. A lot of what we've been talking about with Arch Manning. The second touchdown to DeAndre Moore, and I think it was only like an 8-yard touchdown pass, I think is what that was, that play. But remember, Arch got flushed out of the pocket, then he came back into the pocket, and you saw him go 1, 2, 3. He's like totally scanning the field. And I mean, you can see it happening in live time. Everything opens up and he hits DeAndre Moore. To me, that's the one play that I go back to where I'm like, that solidifies everything that I've been waiting for all year. And I don't think that's the obvious one, but that's the play where I really kind of put all of that together. And that's why I'm so high on Arch Manning tonight, because it's like that particular play, watching what he did. But and again, for DeAndre Moore, what a night right there. But had time in the pocket. The offensive line did their job. There were different outlets right there, and just an exceptional job by the quarterback and the wide receiver to be able to put it together, even though it was only 8 yards. That's mine.
Yeah, it went right through the corner stand.
Right through there. Yeah.
Like, that was a crazy throw. I don't know if it was a crazy throw or if it was a bad play from the secondary player. But
might have been luck. I don't know. But it looked good. It looked good.
They could use some luck right about now.
Shit.
So we're with it. We're with it. For me, I'm going to go with the Philly special, man. Yeah. You know, Philly special, Nick Foles, what Eagles fans will always remember what you saw in that Super Bowl against the Patriots, and we saw it tonight. A little jet sweep to Ryan Wingo. Ryan Wingo throws the reverse to Parker Livingston. Parker Livingston sees a wide open Arch Manning, and Arch Manning, he has to catch it. It wasn't like right in the bed basket.
No.
He had to go get that thing.
Real high, yeah.
Real high, and we know Arch, he used to hoop, so he understands grabbing a rebound every now and then, and I'm sure that took him back to his basketball days. But solid play, solid call by Steve Sarkisian. You know, Arkansas took a timeout right before that play, and to come out with that, I thought it was a real good move. And look, you're at the end of the season. All that trickery stuff, like you saw Kirby Smart do it against you with the onside kick.
Yep.
It's time to start bringing that shit out. It's time to dust the cobwebs off of the specialty playbook and bring that stuff out. You know, and I'm sure Mike Elko, he'll be prepared for it, and vice versa. You need to be prepared for what A&M's going to give you, because in a rival game like that, with so much on the line, something spectacular like an onside kick can completely flip the game. So
turn the game. Yep.
Got to be on your P's and Q's. And I thought that was good creativity from Steve Sarkisian on that Philly special. So that's definitely my offensive play of the game, brought to you by Paul's Motorworks. Now for the defensive play of the game, brought to you by Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill. Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill is a place that takes you back to a simpler time. Comfortable, relaxed, familiar, easygoing. Moonshine, they greet guests like family. And doesn't that make it just feel more comfortable? And you feel like you're at home when you're at Moonshine. And plus, the food is absolutely spectacular. Great American comfort food that satisfies even the biggest city taste. And they got great dinner. They got great weekend brunch, 2 amazing locations downtown and Avery Ranch. So you have one near you. Go visit their website at moonshinegrill.com for more information and to make a reservation. Your defensive play of the game brought to you by Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill. Double R, who you got?
Zay, he may have thrown the ball at Bevo, but I got to go with Leon Galafau. I got to go with the Colin Simmons hit. I mean, the Colin Simmons hit. And then LaFau's like, looked like he had cement in his shoes when he first took off. I'm like, dude,
Ethan Burke almost screwed it up. Ethan Burke ran into him, and I'm like, dude, Ethan Burke, what are you doing? Thank goodness. The other foul, and there was like 8 burnt orange jerseys and about 2 white jerseys that helped. But
that would have summed up the season right there. An opportunity for a pick 6, and your own fucking dude knocks you down. I mean, that would have just summed it up right there. But and again, for that dude right there, for LaFau, I mean that's a dude. He deserves him a touchdown, man. He like we said, I mean he's been consistent. There are mistakes that happen. But that's a dude that's been pretty solid right there. And again, right place at the right time. Off he goes. And then again, a Colin Simmons hit. You got Colin Simmons peaking right now at the best time of the season where, he and Arch, all of that focus at the beginning of the year, these guys aren't producing. This guy on defense isn't producing. He's an All-American. What's going on? But you're getting this dude right at the right time. And you're going to need him. You're going to need him next week and then into the bowl game or college football playoff, whatever's happening. Dude, the dude is solidifying his legacy here with what he's doing.
Right. Yeah, Leon Galafau, kind of like with Jalen Gilbo. He hasn't been great. He hasn't been horrible either. And again, like Jalen Gilbo, his 2024 season has been better than this 2025 season.
Right.
And that's what's disappointing because you should be getting better, not worse. So that he needed that. That was a big-time play. Get Colin Simmons, hell of a play by him. Like, they're going to have to turn A&M over to win that game next Friday. So just get in the end zone, the first touchdown for this defense all year long. Maybe they could keep that same momentum and juju on Friday against the Aggies. And, because if they don't get turnovers – right now, they're not stopping much.
No.
Their teams aren't punting very much. Like, Arkansas didn't punt. We didn't see that punter much tonight. So if them turnovers aren't there, the 2 that you got today, you got to turn the ball over because I look at A&M's offense, and I think they are way better than Arkansas's.
No, there's no doubt about it.
So
there's absolutely no doubt about it.
Arkansas out here putting up 5-12 on you, 37 points, then what can Colin Klein and Marcel Reed do to you? So, button that up, fellas, for real.
Yeah, this is Bobby Petrino out there doing this shit to you.
Yeah, Bobby Petrino, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, let's get real. Which Bobby Petrino, he's a good offensive mind.
He is.
He's crazy as hell, with that scooter incident. We ain't never going to forget that. He just gave her a ride, Double R. What's wrong with giving her a ride?
It's so funny when I saw I saw that interview with him, and I couldn't help but like see his face like with black eyes and shit.
Yeah, the neck brace.
He doesn't look right. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he should always have that neck brace on. All right, time for the final word, brought to you by Sue Patrick for the best selection of Longhorn gear. Go see our friends at Sue Patrick, located on 5222 Burnett Road. Go online, SuePatrick.com. They got the best there too. $59, you spend over that, you get free shipping and handling. They got Arch Manning jerseys, they got polos, golf balls, hats, grilling accessories, and plenty more. Go visit our friends at Sue Patrick now. All right, Double R, your final word, brought to you by Sue Patrick.
Hey man, here we are. You haven't gotten to where everyone thought that you were going to be, but you've managed to claw yourself into a position to play your bitter rival at home, and you have an opportunity to not only maybe play yourself into playoff contention again, but really jack up their season, and it would be a quality win. So, I mean, take this win for what it's worth. I mean, and I like the comment right there. I mean, that Arkansas, yeah, we're kind of laughing at them a little bit and talking about whatever, but they have been competitive. They have been competitive. They took A&M down to the wire, so there's that you can hang your hat on. But it's very matter of fact that maybe you're a little disappointed in the season, but hell, it's still right there in front of you. It's how many weeks have we said that? Just come on out and take care of business. You took care of business today. You answered. You came out and you looked motivated. You looked prepared. Bring that same attitude in and just go win. Be 1-0 this week, man. It's boring. It's boring to say that, but be 1-0 this week. It is really about the only thing that I can tell you right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice to spoil whatever A&M's trying to do. They're trying to get to Atlanta for the first time, since they've been to the SEC and play for the SEC championship. And you could spoil that. Like, that sounds like a lot of fun to me. And who knows? Like, championship week, rivals week, it might be a weird week. Rival games are odd. So who knows who might lose? And if Texas wins, what the committee will think then. But I'm with you, Double R. Just go handle your business. There's going to be a lot of distractions. There always is. Ant Hill, try to get him back as quick as possible because that'll be huge. Hopefully, Sark right now is hitting up Greg Sankey and everybody to try to get Ty Anthony Smith to be available to, have him available for that first half. But you feel good about Arch Manning heading into Friday. The run game, I wouldn't say I feel better, but I don't feel worse. I don't feel worse. At least they did some promising things today. This offensive line, Trevor Gooseby, DJ Campbell, Brandon Baker, Cole Hudson, Connor Robinson. At least they did some promising things, and so did Contravian Wisner. Just build off that.
And Baxter, you got you got a little bit of out of Baxter.
A little bit. Man, he's lost a step. It's sad to see.
Sad to watch him, isn't
it's sad to see, man. He does not have any burst.
Nope.
Like at all.
Yeah.
So,
he just burrows into the pack.
Yeah. Yeah. And Contravian Wisner, he doesn't have the burst that he had last year either. Yeah. So if you could provide some type of running game, you'll take that. But those Aggies, they're on a mission right now. And the Longhorns are in their way. And they want to be spoiler too. They want to make Texas go 8-4 and have all these questions about Steve Sarkisian and stuff. They want that. They love that. They thrive off that. They want that type of hate. You know what I mean? So yeah. We're locked in here at Texas Sports Unfiltered. We got shows all week long, not Wednesday, not Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. But we'll be on Friday for pregame stuff. We'll be on Monday, Tuesday, regular scheduled programming. So, again, man, we appreciate everybody that is locked in from us, whether you're a Texas fan or a college football fan, OU fan, we allow them. Tech fans, you know what I'm saying? Like Georgia, A&M fans. We just saw a Hog fan here, like, everybody's welcome. You know what I'm saying? Right. Even if you just come to be a hater, we welcome all that and then some. So appreciate y'all for rocking with us tonight. The Texas Longhorns go 7-3 overall, 4-2 in conference play, beating the Arkansas Razorbacks 52-37. They got A&M next Friday in the Lone Star Showdown. Can't wait for that. He is Double R Rodney Rodriguez. I am Zay Collier. Y'all be cool.